Hey guys, I'm Shannon with AMRA, and want to talk a little bit this morning about RS 2477 and road closures and gates. AMRA's going to start doing series of videos now where we kind of explain all of this stuff in layman's terms so you can make sense of this crap. As you all know, we fight endlessly about gates and road closures by the BLM and by the USFS, and it's all across the West. So let's explain what they can and can't do, okay? First of all, everybody go out to Google after you get done watching this video and type this into Google: USFS, United States Forest Service, 2800, USFS 2800, and hit enter. That's going to pull a PDF file up of what they call the mining manual, which is kind of their guidelines about what they can do, the Forest Service, as it relates to mining claims. Everybody should print that and read it. But there's one thing in particular in there, and it's 2813.14, 2813.14. And in there, it quotes that they cannot cause an undue burden for you to access your mining claim, or they must make reasonable access for you to to access your mining claim. So with that being said, what's reasonable access? Well, if you watch the video of us down in Barstow, you probably saw that the BLM had actually put up a gate there, and this applies to them as well. Reasonable access is they put up a gate under the guise of some desert tortoise BS crap, which that brings into play RS 2477, which we're going to talk about in a second. But in that Barstow issue, they put up these signs saying that you couldn't drive around them, and were requiring 75-year-old miners to put a 100-pound pack on their back and walk 2 miles to their mining claim. That's unreasonable. Is it unreasonable for me to walk from my truck down to here carrying, 100 pounds? Probably not. But you know what? If they put a gate up the road to where we're at now, and I have to walk a quarter of a mile in here carrying gas cans and sluice boxes or whatever it is I'm mining with, shovels, picks, pry bars, that is unreasonable. So let's take this a step further, and let's talk about Title V, RS 2477, FLPMA, and all of that kind of stuff. Back in 1866, which was the first mining act that was actually passed by Congress, it granted certain rights, and they wanted to expand the West, and so they gave people land, but they didn't have the funds to build roads. So they said, we're going to grant you this land if you develop it, mining, agriculture, plant some corn, whatever, but you have to make the roads. And so by doing that, they granted the right of access with those roads at that time. That's never changed, even to modern day, right now, today, here in late January of 2018. You still have a granted right, not a privilege. In 1976, I think it was in October of 76, they passed FLPMA, which is Federal Land Management Policy Act, and they tried to take all of those rights away. So what they did is they passed this thing called Title V, and what Title V is that any roads after 1976, when they pass this, then really have a privilege of the use of the roads. Can they close those? Yes. But if anything predated 1976, under that RS 2477, those roads have to remain open because it's a granted right. We posted about a Utah Supreme Court case. It's the Supreme Court of the state of Utah, not the United States Supreme Court. And they challenged that those roads under RS 2477 were to remain open. And they won that case, meaning every road that was in existence that you can show on a map prior to 1976 has to remain open. That's what we contended when we went to Barstow. It's what we contend here. Now, you get some federal agencies, the USFS, some of them are pretty good, like we're in the Stanislaus National Forest, and thankfully for us, we've explained that, they understand it, they get it, and they know that they can't close certain roads. But this is something that, guys, they close these things all the time. They're spending hundreds of millions of your dollars to put up gates, to block access and all those things. And I'm hoping at some point we find Pacific Legal Foundation or somebody like that that actually takes this RS-2477 case to the Supreme Court. We're out there challenging, as you know, all the time about the road closures, and we get these people and these agencies to back down, but it's important, and the reason why is because we know the laws. It's important that you guys know the laws as well. So USFS 2800, read that from end to end, and that tells you what the Forest Service can and can't do as far as their manual. By the way, that is not a law, it's a guidebook. So anyway, we hope that this taught you guys something about 2477, Title V, FLPMA, and even the mining acts. So we're going to continue to fight. So guys, this is an example here of what they're doing, and this is under what's called the Travel Management Plan by the United States Forest Service. And what they're claiming is really, it's kind of like they think that they don't, or they say that they don't have the funds really to maintain the roads from what, November 15th to April 15th, and so they close all of these lands down. The problem is that people are getting wise to that, and they're getting pretty pissed off. So you have things like this happen right there, where they just rip it right out of the ground. But you know, here's the primary thing that I want to mention about the travel management plan is I'm a professional miner, and so my income, my livelihood depends on me being able to go out and mine, find new ground, prospect places. All lands that are open to mineral entry are to remain open to the public for the purpose of prospecting. So if that's the case, they put this up. Aren't they prohibiting me from actually going out and finding a new prospect or obtaining a new claim? Because I can't take my equipment in there, therefore I can't prospect. And at some point, I think that you're going to see AMRA is going to challenge this travel management plan. We've already had conversations with the Forest Service here with Jim Janae, who, by the way, is a really pretty good district ranger. I have a lot of respect for the man. But I told Jim about this. I says, you guys are putting up these gates and you're blocking me from mining from middle of November until, you know, middle of spring. So how am I supposed to get a new claim? Well, the answer was we have to walk in. That goes back onto 2813.14, where it causes an undue burden. Imagine if I had to walk up this road for 4 miles carrying a backpack full of my gear. I'd have to make 3 or 4 trips. That's the point we're trying to make, is they keep doing this stuff, and it's part of a larger agenda, which we're really not going to get into. But guys, I hope that you're as sick of this crap as we are. Why don't you join us? Get in this fight.